The average home seller makes 7.3 critical mistakes that cost them $23,000 in lost profit. And 94% of these mistakes happen before they even list their home. But here's what's shocking me the most today. After analyzing over 800 transactions, these sellers who avoided these preparation mistakes didn't just save money. They made on average more than $31,000 than unprepared sellers, sold 40% faster, and had zero stress during the process. Today I'm going to show you exactly how they did it. My name's Tom Baker. I'm your go-to real estate expert here in the Portland Metro and Clackamas County area, and I've seen the same preparation failures destroy deals over and over again. But I've also discovered the exact system that eliminates these mistakes completely. In the next 10 to 12 minutes, you're going to get a complete preparation checklist that separates successful sellers from those who lose thousands to avoidable mistakes. We'll cover the 5 biggest preparation failures, the exact timeline that prevents panic, and the one preparational step that alone saves sellers on average of $8,000. But first, let me tell you about the seller who ignored the advice and almost lost everything. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. All my contact information is below. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere in the Portland metro area, call or text me anytime. Now meet Bob, not his real name, but his story is 100% true. Bob had been in his home for 15 years, and when we start talking about selling, I gave him one simple instruction: start decluttering now, not later. This is your preparation mistake number 1. Waiting until the last minute to declutter and pack. Now, how it really destroys Bob's deal is Bob ignored the advice. He said he'd handle it when the time comes. Fast forward to closing day, the buyers show up for their final walkthrough. Bob's house is still full of stuff. No moving truck, no boxes packed, nothing ready. The entire transaction almost imploded. We had to extend the closing, negotiate penalties, and Bob ended up paying an additional $3,000 that he wasn't prepared to pay. But here's what most sellers don't realize. Decluttering isn't just about moving your stuff. It's about moving your home and making it show better, photograph better, and appeal to more buyers. Cluttered homes sell for on average 6 to 10% less than decluttered homes. Now, the solution: start decluttering the moment you think about selling. I'll give you the exact timeline in a few minutes, but this change alone can save you thousands and eliminate massive stress. But Bob's decluttering disaster, see, it wasn't nothing compared to the pricing catastrophe that I witnessed recently. Not researching your home's value before talking to a real estate agent. That's your second mistake and takeaway here. Here's what happens to unprepared sellers. They call an agent, throws out a number, and they'll accept it without any question. They have no baseline, no knowledge, and no negotiating power. If you've ever been part of a real estate transaction or know anybody, you've probably seen a seller accept a listing price that was probably about $40,000 below value because they didn't do their homework and neither did their agent. So you can't be unprepared and go into this. Here's what happened. Here's what prepared sellers do differently. They research comps, understand market trends, and know their home's value range before an agent even walks in the door. This preparation gives them the power in the conversation. Now, I recently had a client who spent weeks researching comps before our meeting. When I suggested a listing price, she said, "I've seen the recent sales, and based on my home's condition compared to the other homes that have sold and that are pending, I think we should list $15,000 higher." She was right. We got her asking price. Prepared sellers get better pricing advice, better marketing strategies, and better results. Unprepared sellers get whatever the agent thinks and whatever they think they can get away with. But even if you nail the decluttering and pricing preparation, there's one mistake that catches even experienced sellers off guard. This is what we're going to talk about into putting off obvious repairs until the home inspection is your third mistake that we're going to talk about today. Now, why this is expensive. Here's the psychology. Sellers think, why fix anything if the buyer might not care? So they wait. Then the inspection happens, and suddenly that $200 repair becomes a $2,000 negotiating point. Buyers see unfixed issues as red flags. They'll start wondering, what else is wrong that I can't see? I had a simple repair that could have been handled for $300 and it became a $3,000 credit request because the buyer lost confidence. And you would too if you were in this situation. I also worked with a seller with a loose handrail on the front steps. That cost could have been $50. But during inspection, the buyer's agent made it sound like a major safety hazard and demanded a $1,500 credit for a potential liability issue. So prepared sellers do a pre-listing inspection, fix obvious issues up front. This shows your buyers the home is well maintained and it eliminates negotiation ammunition. Sellers who do proactive repairs sell on average of 3% more than reactive sellers. So on a $500,000 home, that's $15,000 just for being prepared. Now, you may not think that repairs are the biggest preparation challenge, but there's one area where I even see smart sellers making absolutely devastating mistakes. And that's where we jump right on into preparation mistake number 4, which is not creating a realistic timeline for your move. Here's how this destroys deals. Okay, sellers underestimate how long everything takes. They think they can pack in 15 minutes on a year that they've been living in for 20 years. In 2 weeks, they can coordinate movers. In 3 days, they can be in and out, handle all the logistics without managing everything, and even though I have a full-time job. Then reality hits. The moving company's booked. The packing isn't done. The utilities aren't transferred. And suddenly they're asking for a delay. But the buyers get nervous and the deals fall apart and the sellers lose thousands if they just didn't worry about what was unacceptable. Now, they hired the first moving company they could find, usually the most expensive. They throw away valuable items because they don't have any sort. They don't have any time to sort. They pay premium rates for last-minute acceptable services. They accept lower rates because they're desperate to close. Prepared sellers create a detailed timeline working backwards from their ideal closing date. They book movers early, start packing non-essentials immediately, build in buffer time for delays. I've had a success story with a client who started planning her move 6 months prior to her listing. So she got 3 moving quotes, packed systematically, and had everything coordinated perfectly. Her closing was smooth, stress-free, and she saved $4,000 in moving costs alone. But even with the perfect timing, there's one preparation failure that can destroy everything last minute. And that's where we're going to end today on the final mistake, which is number 5, preparation. Not organizing important documents and information before your house goes up for sale. So picture this. You're at closing, everything's going smoothly until this point, and suddenly the attorney asks for your property survey. You don't have it, or they don't need proof of repair you did 3 years ago. You can't find it. Or they want documentation for that addition that you built. It's somewhere in a box. Closing gets delayed, buyers get frustrated, and deals fall apart because of missing paperwork. Prepared sellers create a home file with property surveys and plot plans and receipts for major improvements, warranty information for appliances and systems and HOA documents and bylaws, utility account information, contractor information, property tax records. But here's the secret benefit. When you hand over these organized documents to a buyer, they feel confident about their purchase. They see you as a responsible homeowner, and they're less likely not to nitpick or make last-minute demands. They feel comfortable. I've had a seller who created a beautiful binder with all of the home information, the warranties, the contractor contracts. These buyers were so impressed that they actually thanked her at closing and said it made them feel great about their decision. This preparation step costs you nothing but time, but it can save you thousands, if not tens of thousands, in delayed closings and buyer confidence issues. So there you have it, my 5 biggest mistakes preparation that cost sellers thousands of dollars in this market. Waiting to declutter until the last minute, not researching home values before talking to an agent. You need to have a number in mind, in your head. Putting off obvious repairs until inspection, and not creating a realistic moving timeline. And of course, failing to finalize or organize those important documents we talked about. But here's the good news. Every one of these mistakes is completely avoidable with proper preparation. The sellers that avoid these mistakes don't just save money, they make more money, sell faster, and have a stress-free experience. Remember Bob from the beginning? After his near disaster, he became one of the most prepared sellers. His next home that he sold was flawless. He made $25,000 more than expected and closed on time with zero stress. Now, I offer and created a complete selling preparation checklist that walks you through every step of this proper preparation. Obviously, you have this video that you can go to anytime, so if you haven't hit that subscribe button or you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit it now. That way you never, ever miss out on any of my game-changing real estate content that can help save you tens of thousands of dollars if you're a seller, and also make things a lot more easier if you're a buyer. And if you want to dig deeper, if you want to dive deeper into preparation strategies after watching this video, all my contact information is below in the description. You can call or text me anytime. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and have a great day.